My name's Karl Geckler. I'm an architect and sculptor. I live in Chicago, in Humboldt Park on the west side, in an industrial loft building where I can carve stone. And I've lived here for over 25 years. But I was born in Los Angeles, California. I have family there, always visit. I was raised later in Virginia, North Carolina, and I went to Virginia Polytech for a degree in architecture. In 1988, I was working at Skidmore, Owings & Merrill, you know, the architects of the Sears Tower and the Hancock Tower. And it was like military boot camp for architects. It was serious. The hours were insane. And so I had that half of my brain taken care of, the architecture half, but I wanted to do something creative. There's no time to do anything creative. You work from 8 in the morning till 2 in the morning and you better be back, you know, to do it again. No time. On my lunch hours, I'm thinking, I gotta get something going. I don't have time to paint or draw. I want someone to make something for me. So I thought, what's the simplest thing I can do? And I was sort of schooled, raised on the art of Max Bill, Brancusi. My professor, Virginia Ferrari, was a student of Max Bill, and who was part of the Bauhaus. So this modernist tendencies, and as an architect, I can kind of find a lot of interest in some simple geometric manipulations or moves. To me, it says everything. So I thought, I would just like to take a marble cylinder and cut it on an angle. So at the bottom is the solid base, and at the top is just a little point, be like a toenail. I call up this company Italian Marble, and a woman answers, and I explained to her what I want to do, and she goes, yeah, hang on just a minute. Hey, Peter, can we cut a marble cylinder on an angle, and how much? Oh, okay. And she goes, $250. Everyone else was like $5,000, $7,000, and they can have it in a week. I ordered the marble cylinder, and it was the strangest coincidence, and that's why it really kind of stands out as a defining moment, because I'm sitting here today in this building because of that phone call, and the last almost 30 years of my life have been intricately tied to that phone call. SOM laid off 400 people a week later. It was a bad architectural and economic time at the end of the 80s. The day I got laid off was the day I'm gonna go pick up my cylinder, my sculpture, my first stone. I didn't make it, but I wanted to see it. It was just the desire to see it. And so I go pick it up, and it looks unfinished, and it's cut, and I said, well, can you polish that? And they said, well, why don't you polish it? You should polish it. I said, well, I have no idea how to polish stone. We kind of got into a conversation, and explained that I'd just been laid off, I'm an architect, and they could use someone to help out looking at drawings and doing estimates and things like this. I'm like, well, I could do that, I suppose, for a little money. I can read drawings. And at the same time, I'm kind of asked them, I said, well, can you guys show me in the shop how to polish the stone? And like, sure, that all works out. It's like win-win. These guys weren't artists, but they know how to polish stone, they know how to cut stone. And I had ideas. 2 weeks into it, in comes this older Italian guy. He's got like crazy white hair and a long white beard. A little short guy, but very energetic, and John Bartolomeo, and he's an architect who buys stone from this company. And we got to talking, and we had a mutual interest. We're both architects, both interested in carving stone. So the first time, I'll never, I mean, it almost makes the hairs on my arms go up. The first time he's like, here's a chisel, here's a block, let's go. And I went, boom. It's like, wow, that's what it feels like. Because if you look at a Michelangelo or any sculpture and you pick up a rock and you know what a rock feels like, how is that even possible? No one knows. It's like a total mystery. But the moment you hit it and just try it, half of that is over. And it broke off a big chip. And so then the mystery was like kind of half unraveled in that it's not unknowable. It can be done. You just need to know. And he says, You know, Karl, if you really want to learn to carve stone, you need to go to Pietrasanta, Italy, where he had studied. And so I'm like, this is great. I'm off to Italy. Fly over there and you learn, you know, you're with Pasquale Martini was my teacher. Endless energy. And I thought, wow, stone carving like just makes you a healthier, more energetic person. That was part of it because it was physical. I didn't want to sit at a desk as an architect all the time. Half of me really hated that, or a lot of me hated that. I still want to be an architect, but the stone carving is just so physical. So I had 1 month of carving, which was great, and then another month of the more architecturally related stone workings, quarrying. You go to quarries, learn how it quarries and things like this. The next season of the summer, I think it was, they knew I was carving back here. They offered me a job as the translator for Pasquale Martini, to be the assistant to the master for the carving studio. I go to Italy, I'm the interpreter, I help carve, I know the basics, and I did that for 5, 6, 7, probably about 9 years. And that led me to make a studio here. I always had the support of Stone City. I always was doing some architecture. So I'm optimistic. I'd like to be known as the greatest sculptor ever, but that's not really what it's about. It's more an internal thing where I have ideas and things that I need to see. It's almost like it's not my choice. And I trust in whatever this intuition or this drive is, that I'm making things that need to be made. Honestly, I find that my signature kind of destroys most of the sculptures. I think of them as a pure shape. As I look ahead and I see some of the sculptures I've sold and what I have here, almost none of them are signed. Imagine someone in the future looking at the shape. I want them to be motivated or moved by what I've created, and that doesn't really have anything to do with my name. It's the idea. It's more important the idea gets conveyed and communicated.